Are you ready, Cancer? Your first new beginning. Your middle of the month ending and your second new beginning. You have your first new beginning that literally starts at the butt end of August and it takes you into September. It has to do with the way you communicate, the way you think. It's sibling energy, it's peers, it's coworkers, it's social media. Are you online all the time? Social platforms, digital neighbors, it's information and news. Your neighborhood, your community, so your digital community and your physical community. Who are your next door neighbors? Who are your siblings? Say you don't have any siblings. Well, who is around you a lot, right? Who do you consider almost like family, but possibly friends? So it can literally be those people who are the house next to you, or it could be someone who actually lives in the same home as you and you see each other all the time, even though they may not be related, right? I'm in a home. I've got 2 housemates. None of us are related, but we're peers, right? We're in the house. So this would be that for me. So for you, this will definitely fall into the category of pets and dogs, believe it or not, domesticated animals, big time, because it's got like this, it could be even like a service dog or a service pet, but it's somehow the word serving and service is associated with this. So it speaks to talking and communication and health and understanding the words we use, like the kind of information that we share and the way that we share it, how important it is. Like it can affect your own health and somebody else's well-being because, the thoughts we keep and all that stuff, thoughts are things. And yeah, like all that matters, right? So there's a new beginning here. The way you talk, relate, and communicate, like I said, it's everything I said, the digital stuff, the physical stuff, it's siblings, it's neighbors, it's peers, it's also sales, right? Because I was talking about talking, and that is this energy, talking and communication. There's a new beginning. Now, because it's got like this Virgo vibe, it's part of a routine, a daily routine, something that you do. So it could be something you do by way of improving your own health or the pet or a pet that you have or somebody else's pet. Like, do you do like grooming or do you watch pets? Something with those domestic animals. Maybe having a domestic animal around you helps you, especially maybe there's an anxiety thing, or maybe not. There might be a sensitivity to the furry friends, but it's something to do with serving, right? Serving the community, your local community. I'm going to pull a card. I know you can hear Taffy in the background. And if you can't, thank God, because she's not happy I'm not letting her in because she would want to lay right across all of this. So I feel bad. But just so you know, listening, we got a cat at the door meowing really loud and she's doing like this at the door. So let's pull your card so that we can see this new beginning. Before I pull it, I have to mention, I said I said routine, but it could be job. So do you have a job that you do digitally? Like do you have an online job? This is a new beginning. So for some of you, depending upon degrees in your own chart, that might mean that for you, but it could just also mean a new task at your job. Ta-da! Look at this. We got this card. This is a warrior card. A battle has just been fought. How do I know? Well, here we go. It's Mars. Mars is the warrior. Mars is all about, I'm ready to fight. Mars is about independent action. You can't tell me what to do. It's sporadic energy. It's bursts of energy. It's bursts of high energy. It's the Marine. It's the first one out. But look, there's somebody laying down. Like somebody is either dead or injured. They're not moving. They're laying face down. And this person is standing straight up. So this is very fiery because that's what Mars is. It's the fighter. So it could be like combative communications. Do you have, and remember, this is a new beginning. And this is a new beginning. Literally, this is the card for Aries. You see that? And Aries represents a new beginning, but this represents a fiery new beginning for you. It's a new beginning in general, but it's almost like there's a new adventure. This doesn't just have to be like I'm going to battle, but when somebody says, hey, let's go and join the army or let's go and do that, isn't that an adventure? Yeah. And that's what this screams out. There's a new, exciting, fresh adventure coming your way for your new beginning, Cancer. Middle of the month, we have an ending. And your ending has to do with the way that it's about your belief system. It's it's what you believe in, right? It's your philosophy on life, possibly your spirituality, maybe even religion part of this. It's beliefs, but it's a letting go. Now, this is also judgments, unconscious judgments. Maybe you have judgments on others. Maybe others have judgments on you. You know how people do? I mean, we all do to some degree. We look at somebody, we see their clothes, or we hear the way they talk, and we immediately in our mind are like, okay, or we see the car they're driving, and immediately we're like, oh, they got money, or oh, they're piss poor, right? Like there's just judgments that we have. Sometimes we are aware of them and we even might be vocal about them. We may say things, or other times we kind of keep it quiet, or other times it's almost just like a thought in our head and we're not really paying attention to it, but it's there, subconscious judgments. A release in this, which is a wonderful thing, because anytime we let go of that kind of stuff, we allow room for something new and beautiful. Now, yours may have to do with fantasy, sci-fi, movies, okay? Because it's got like a Pisces vibe to it. So it could also have to do with traveling long distances, like going overseas. Like, do you like to go on cruises, right? There's something with water here. But it's got foreign lands, foreign languages. It's like exploring foreign countries. Like the travel vibe is really strong, but there's a release. So is there a release and a belief about traveling? Is there a release and a belief about foreigners? Is there a release and a belief, like maybe you're just letting go of like the rose-colored glasses? Maybe you had a very idealistic perspective in terms of your beliefs. And so maybe some of that's like no more, just, well, I don't know. It feels like since 2020, we've been through a lot. Yeah, for some of us, our rose-colored glasses, like we just don't see things. It's almost like the harsher realities of the world have like stepped up. And so there might be some of that idealism that is fading away, or that you're just closing the door on. It's a release. So let's pull your card and see what that is about to give us some more details. This card is upside down, but upside down meaning this release might not be as simple. There might be some work involved in it. Represents someone being born, but they are an adult already. Well, maybe they're not an adult, they're an adolescent. So they're being born, but what that represents is their childhood is over, right? The moon and the family and the emotions, something about the childhood is over. Is there a release in mom? Is it's something about the past in childhood? Is mom, no longer with you? Is there something that happened with you and mom? Like, was there a mother wound that you're releasing? When we release all that stuff, because I think, God, I don't think there's really anybody I've ever met who hasn't carried some sort of, whether it was through mom or dad, something from childhood that they've carried with them. But when we release all that, yeah, we grow up. We realize, okay, they were just doing the best they could do, right? With what they had. It's not to make excuses, but it's just that when we hold on to stuff, the only one that we're doing harm to or holding back is ourselves, right? So there's like a birth happening, a birth and an emerging of an adolescent, or at least an adult, not a senior citizen here, but an adult. Now I see Mars energy over here. So it's an emerging of one's independence. This represents independent action from the family. Aquarius is the group energy. Families are groups, but maybe even friends, right? There's an emerging, I'm an individual. I'm an individual. The independent action of my body and me standing out from the group is pretty important here. There's a release, right? That's how we started this, right? There's this release in the middle of the month, but it's something from childhood, something that has to do with feminine energy, possibly mom, or even a person in your life who felt like a mom. How many dads out there have to do both? How many moms out there have to do both, right? Like this happens, right? But there's something about that, the past and from that's just, it's going to be gone now, because there's an emerging here happening, but it requires that release first. The release absolutely from the past is required before the independent action, where you really are recognized and acknowledged as the individual, independent action, which is also what this card is about, independent action, and ready to begin that journey. For those of you who like to pay attention to the degrees in your chart, again, if you don't know and you want to know, just comment below.